What's up guys, Anthony Vapes. Today here with my review of the Hellvape Dead Rabbit RDA. Don't waste time on intros. Disclaimer wise, this product was sent to me for the purpose of this review from elementvape.com. So I'll go ahead and throw a link down there below to it on their site. Let's go ahead and cut into the up close. I'll show you how to build on it and stuff. And then I'll be back here with my pros, cons, and whether I'd recommend it or not. Now let's take an up close look at the Dead Rabbit RDA. We'll start with the box. Here's the box it comes in. Project by Heathen. This was designed by another vape reviewer. Stuff on the back. Open up the box. It is made by Hellvape. I have reviewed something from them before. That was the Iron Maiden RDTA. You're going to get in the box some extra screws in here. You're going to get both pins. So here's the pin that it actually comes with normally. Just a regular flathead pin, but I'm using the squonk pin. I'll be squonking on it. A couple of Allen wrenches and spare O-rings and spare screws for the deck. The spare screws it comes with are hex screws, which is pretty nice. So you get the option of using hex or the included ones in the deck already, which are flatheads. You're also going to get another drip tip, regular black one, and you're going to get a 510 adapter. So here's the 510 adapter. You'll see it actually just snaps in the top. So it does raise it up a little bit. And it is a little diamond cut on it, so easy to get in and out, which is pretty nice. Here's the top cap. You're going to see Dead Rabbit logo. Come on in. Focus. So shiny, it's hard to focus on it. There's your Dead Rabbit logo. Other than that, it's pretty much plain black. You do have this like diamond cutting stuff on the top. This top cap, however, is very stiff, very hard to turn. You're going to want to lube it up if you want to change your airflow. For me, I just use it wide open, so I don't really worry about it. But if you did want to close off the airflow, you're definitely going to want to lube that up because it is tight. Other than that, on the inside, it is a little bit conical design. See, the airflow is pretty high up. So it's practically like a top. They do kind of angle it down, but I'm going to go over that a little bit later in the video into detail, show you guys something. And then here's the included 810 tip. It is friction fit, no O-rings. Pops in. That's the top cap. Now onto the deck. Make it easy and zoom in a bit. Alright, so here's the deck. It is a postless deck, which is pretty nice. They also did something a little different I haven't seen before. See, there's a little bit of extra wiggle room in here. So the posts don't have to be cut perfect because you can actually get a little extra here and then clip the rest there. So that's actually a pretty nice design, pretty smart. You have an extra insulator that's over the squonk pin. So when it squonks, it's going to come out on both sides. You see it right there on the side. It's going to come out on both sides, which is pretty nice. 24 karat gold plated. Nice size post holes. And it comes with the included Phillips screws, which normally I don't, flat screws, which normally I don't like the flathead screws, but it does come with the hex as well, and these ones are actually pretty good quality screws. It's actually really nicely quality and nicely built overall RDA. So definitely came out looking good from Hellvape here. Juice well is not very deep, but it is a little bit extra deeper here on the sides. But I'm going to be squonking, it's not a big deal, but as a regular RDA, it's not a very deep juice well at all. That's about it for the deck, so let's go ahead and build on it. Alright, once you have your coils made, you're going to want them to be pretty high, because here's the airflow. So if we put this up to it, you see the air's up here. The closer we can get it to the air, the better. So you definitely want it to be quite up in, in the air. So we're going to build this up pretty high. Of course, you can't go too high, because if we do, we're going to short it on the top cap. So actually, let's just stick this in here. Take a look at where it goes to get the coils as high as I can without touching the top cap. Remember, they are going to be a little raised off the deck. Looks like I'm going to have to cut to about here or so. So I'm just going to pre-cut the leads out a little bit. Remember, there is a little bit of wiggle room, so it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. But I'll go ahead and cut the other ones up as well. One on the gold, one on the silver, because gold's going to be your positive, that's going to be your negative. You don't want to install them like this. I've actually seen pictures of people doing this before where they install them like this. Not necessarily in this RDA, but in other ones that have posts that are confusing to people. And they would install basically one coil positive to positive and one negative to negative, and they would get no atomized errors. Duh. So we want these to be pretty high up. Get this in camera. That's nice and tight and pretty high up. See, it's pretty high off the deck. And then if you have any extra, you can cut it down. If you have any extra, you see there's going to be room here. Underneath where the screw is, you'd be able to cut it off. So. Yeah, that's one coil in. I'm going to go ahead and slap the other one in real quick. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do, now that I got both coils installed, is I'm actually going to try to move them a little bit even closer to the air. So I'm just going to bend them a little bit towards the airflow. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So it gets closer to the air. Hopefully it's not too high. Let's see. Nope, not too high at all. See the coils in there, push towards the air. That's about as high as I can get it. So it's actually a pretty good guess on my part on how high it should be. And we should be good to get out the hotspots. Let's go ahead and do that. Get our hotspots, just gonna pulse and strum. Get those nice colors in them. Using some of the new quad core fused from Advanced Vape Supply. There we go, it's nice and even from the middle. Good to go. Alright, so I'm going to let it go ahead and cool down, and then we'll wick it. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and slide our cotton through. One thing I always, I try to mention it, but I normally forget, is before you touch your cotton, make sure to wash your hands. So while it was cooling off, I went and washed my hands, so this way I don't get any oils or anything from my fingers on the cotton. As far as wicking it, there's really not going to be much of a trick or anything to it. I'm going to be squonking on it, or if you're not squonking, you're going to be dripping on it. So as long as you're down on the deck, you're good. You don't have to worry about it like an RTA. Probably don't even need to cut them that much, actually. Just line it up right. And just kind of slide it in there. We'll do the same here. That looks good. Right about there. Just gotta make sure it touches the deck. There's really not much more I need to do on it because of the nature of the type that I'm using with the squonking and all. So I'll do that for the next one now. Alright, and there we go. So I did fluff it out a little bit too, so it's nice and fluffy. Down to the bottom, so I'll be able to squonk on it. Got a 0.18 build in it. Everything's looking pretty good, so we'll go ahead and get it primed up. Using some of this stuff. There we go. SBA melon. I know I owe you guys a massive juice review, and trust me, I'm going to do it. Looking at probably next week, I'll do the massive juice review. Alright, and there we are, all good to go. Everything's primed and everything's ready. We just pop the top cap back on. There's the coils through the middle, and we're ready to vape. All right, so now we're back here with the outro. Let's go over my pros, cons, and whether I'd recommend it or not. I'm using it in squonk mode on the drone and temp control mode. So let's start with the pros. First pro is going to be the build quality. It is a very nicely built RDA. Definitely impressed with the build quality. I had no issues with any of the O-rings or anything like that. Next one's going to be the build deck. I absolutely love the postless build deck. I like that they raised it up a little bit to give you some wiggle room, you know, so the leads don't have to be cut exactly perfect. That was actually a pretty nice feature on their part, so good on that. The post screws, I do like they give you the options of it, that you can go hex or you can go flathead, but even the flathead ones in it are pretty good. So that gets a pro from me. Next pro is going to be the resin tip. I absolutely love resin drip tips. Looks really nice on it. And that's all I got for the pros. Let's go over the cons. Oh, actually, I'll throw one more in there. The fact that it has a 510 adapter if you want to use the 510 tip. All right, so let's go over the cons. First con is going to be that adjusting the airflow is really tight, really hard to do. I mean, it's not a major deal to me personally because I always leave them wide open. You know, most of them are designed to be wide open, but if you did want to close it off, it is kind of a pain. It's really, really tight on there. So yeah, that gets a con from me. And the second con, I really only have two cons with it. Actually, a third one, but it's a picky one. So let's go over that one first. I don't like the logo. I think it just looks ridiculous. I don't like it. I mean, it's just obtrusive in it. I'd much rather have had it a lot plainer, personally. I don't like the logo at all. But that's a personal gripe, and it's not really going to affect my opinion on it at all. So let's go over the last con. Last con is going to be the lack of flavor. So when I think about the flavor of this, the best way I can compare it to is it's basically like if it was a good single coil flavor. That's what it's like. But it's a dual coil. It doesn't really match up to any of the dual coil RDAs out there. Not the ones that I use. So for me, it was like, why use twice the juice, twice the cotton, twice the wire, more watts, get less battery life and all that other stuff just to get the same flavor I could from something smaller. You know, if I'm going to go bigger, more watts, more coils and everything, because I want to get more flavor, not less flavor. Or the same flavor. So for me, it definitely has a huge lack of performance. I'm going to show you guys a little something here real quick. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off. And remember, you know, my flavor is pretty much an optimal spot right now. If you build it lower, you're going to get even worse flavor. I'm going to show you guys something. So I took the top cap off here. Here's the top cap. So a lot of people go, oh, angled airflow, angled airflow, angled airflow, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show you why it doesn't work as people think. You can try this at home if you have it. So what you're going to do is stick your finger and put it more towards the bottom. And you're going to blow into it. Not suck, but blow. You'll feel a lot of air on your finger, right? Because with the angled airflow, if you're blowing through angled airflow, it's going to angle it down to, you know, wherever it's aimed at, basically. So it works well if you're blowing into it, but if you're sucking, keep your finger in the same spot, you're not going to feel any air at all. Nothing. And that's the reason why. So that's why angled airflow doesn't work like people think it works. Or as good as people think it works. And like I said, if you don't believe me, you can try this. You know, I'm not have data or fluid charge and all this other stuff. You know, listen, I'm giving you guys my opinion, and a lot of it is based on stuff that you can test at home if you have the device. Nothing. Now, if I raise my finger higher up, I'm going to feel a little bit of air on it. Not a ton, though. Not a ton at all. Now, think about it. Your finger in this situation is basically the coil. The more air that you feel coming over the coil, the more vapor that's being pulled up for you to taste. So the more flavor you're going to get. Blowing, ton of it. Sucking, not so much. So, I mean, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, I know people are going to say, well, your top is, you know, giving you air too. Yes, my top's giving me air too. I understand that. But, I mean, just because the way it is, I mean, here, I can take it from the side. Blow into it. Ton of air. because it's angled down. So blowing works, but if you're sucking, you're not getting anything. Very little air. So try it at home if you have it. Feel it on your finger and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's why the flavor is lacking, because you're just not getting enough air actually hitting the coils and pulling it up into your mouth. You're just not. So yeah, you can try that if you guys want to try it, if you have one, because I know a lot of people are not going to be very happy with my opinion on it. I know it. Because listen, I've already went around and told people before on forums that the Dead Rabbit is, in my opinion, overrated. Because it is. It's not bad, but it's not nearly a flavor monster. I mean, it's an okay RDA, but it's definitely nothing to write home about, and it definitely doesn't have the flavor of a lot of other ones that I use. You know, and I'm working on reviews for a few different squawking RDAs. You know, I just recently did the Azathoth, which is freaking awesome. And I'm working on the Aura one, you know, the DJ LSB design, so another squonking RDA design by, you know, another reviewer. So, you know, I use this one and I'm just like, not that good. I can't really see myself using it after this review, to be completely honest. It'll probably just sit on my shelf. And just because I say the flavor is not that good, doesn't mean you get no flavor. You're still going to taste your juice no matter what. No matter what device you use, you're going to taste it. The matter is, how much of it are you going to taste? So yeah. So do I recommend it or not? I don't like to do hard yeses and nos, but I'm going to lean this a little bit towards the no. For me, I've said it before in my videos, but for people who haven't seen it, my yeses or nos lean heavily on performance and build quality. And more towards the performance than anything else. It depends on if it's an atomizer or not. Atomizers are definitely heavily weighted towards performance and then secondary build quality. With mods, it's kind of more of a combination of both. You definitely have to have the performance, but you also have the build quality. You know, for an RDA, if the build quality is not great, if it performs excellent, I'm still going to give it a pass because performance is key for me. You know, I wanted something that tastes great. So that's just my opinion on it. So since I do lean heavily towards the performance of stuff, this just does not perform the way that a dual coil RDA should perform. Just doesn't. So it's going to lean towards it now. Yep, so that's all I got for you guys today. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank Element Vape again for sending me this for the purpose of this review. I'll throw a link down to the site below. Other than that, if you got any questions, comments, feel free to comment down below. This is Anthony Vapes, is always keeping it honest. Hopefully you guys can say you're doing the same, and I'll catch you on my next review.